Now, before even introducing the next book, I have to ask, how far does the gutter go?
Oh no! Well, lucky for you, I went today to my local builder's merchant and bought some extra guttering, so...
Go ahead. Sit it down again.
And...
Yeah, why not a third time? Hopefully it has
what is
reached...
this for?
Hopefully it has reached the ocean by now. Because I read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Ah, yes. Our good friend, Jules Verne. No.
I was so excited when I got into, I think the first 50 pages of this, I'm like, right, this actually sounds really interesting. It's an adventure novel. He did Around the World in 80 Days. This is going to be great. Let me read a passage.
Welcome to Story Time with Playboy Alex.
Yes. Let's see. Amidst the waters, brightly lit by the electric beams, snaked past some of those meter-long lampreys, which are common in almost every climate. Oxyrhynchus creatures, kinds of 5-foot-wide rays with white stomachs and ash-gray spotted backs, appeared like huge shawls carried off by the currents. Other rays passed so quickly that I could not tell whether they deserved the title of eagle given them by the Greeks, or the epithets of rat, toad, and bat, which modern fishermen gave them. Dogfish sharks, 12 feet long and particularly feared by divers, raced each other. Marine foxes, 8 feet long and endowed with a very fine sense of smell, appeared like great blue shadows. Dorados of the genus Sparid, some measuring up to 1.3 meters, paraded in the circular banded silver and azure clothing, contrasting with the dark colors of their fins. That goes on for the rest of the page, talking about fish after fish after fish, what genus and species they are.
It's one of those.
This is one of the worst books I've read.
So it's the Victor Hugo method of, let's describe in detail every little thing that we possibly can.
Now, that is about half the book. So whenever I got to those later on, I'm just like, right, it's one of these.
Start skipping. Yeah.
Skip it. Because you can just kind of turn to any page and it's just like, oh, we're talking about fish again. One of the characters, his main thing is classifying fish. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Why do you need to name every single fish in the entire ocean? Now, I will say, the first 50, 75 pages were quite interesting because basically they hear about some ships that have been sunk. They think it's some narwhal or something that pierced the hulls and sank these ships. And they go out to try to catch it. One guy there, a Canadian called Ned Land, he is he catches whales. He has a harpoon. So he tries harpooning basically the Nautilus, which is this submarine owned by Captain Nemo. Their ship gets sunk, basically, or at least attacked, because they're attacking Captain Nemo's submarine. And so these three fall into the water. Our main character, the Doctor, his servant, and then the Canadian guy. They get picked up and are told that they are prisoners now. They are not ever able to leave. And so then they go on an adventure with Captain Nemo. For the most part, they like traveling and seeing all the fish and stuff. At one point, they even go to Atlantis. You think that would be fantastic.
You would expect that to be a highlight of the book.
Yes, you would think so. But all you get is them walking out in their diver suits to Atlantis, checking it out, and then going back.
Okay.
And there's no exploring, really. It's just there's Atlantis. Right, let's get back on the ship.
Sounds like some of my super quick trips around Spain, where it's I've got to do 6 cities in 5 days. I've got to just be there and leave again immediately.
So that was, about 200 pages of just oh, okay, so they're going here. All right, and then now they're going to go here. Okay, now they're going to go here. Do something with this.
Yeah.
There was at least one point that it did excite me again when they go to the South Pole. They eventually get there to the South Pole, they prove that they're there, and they're about to leave, but they get stuck in some icebergs, and they're about to run out of air. And that, at least...
It's an event.
It's an event, but it also, are they going to survive? How are they going to survive? And they go out, and it's 6 days as they're running out of air. They go and try to...
Are they coming up for air?
No. No, they're not able to. That's the whole problem. They need to come up for air so that they can put air back into the submarine. And they have to go out with pickaxes to break apart ice and send out boiling water to make sure that they're not crushed by the ice around them. And that is kind of interesting. And they basically nearly die. They were about like a minute away from dying, it sounds like.
Okay.
And not waking up again.
So that's
just from asphyxiation.
Some peril, but it sounds like that was one time in the book.
That was another like 30 to 50 pages.
Okay.
So about 100 of the 400 pages were good.
I was going to ask, so how long is it? 400, okay.
It's nearly 400. There's even... Last thing I'm going to say. So there's even a bit here... Oh, okay. I guess there was a little bit more. They do see some squids that attack them and kills one of the crewmates, and that's kind of interesting. And then... So Captain Nemo just sees a boat that it's like, these are people from my home country. We don't know which country it is. So he's going to massacre them.
Okay,
so he destroys the ship. All these people on it drown. I mean, they were firing cannonballs at him, so there's a little bit there. But he's just an angry person. Throughout this entire book, they're wanting to escape. And basically, we get to Captain Nemo's Last Words is the name of the chapter. And after they see this, they're like, right, we really can't be around this guy. He's just insane. You get to Captain Nemo's Last Words. What do you think is going to happen in that chapter?
He's going to say something profound, maybe put something on his will, something like that.
You think he was going to die.
Oh, he doesn't even die?
No, you think he's going to die when you hear Captain Nemo's Last Words. No, they're trying to escape. The main character just walks past like the salon, the living room area, and all he hears is, God Almighty, enough, enough. And then he goes to the top of the submarine. They get thrown off because they're in like some terrible waters, and they end up on an island, and that's it. That's the end of the book. It's like, even the ending is boring. It's like, you'd think Captain Nemo would have like some fight with them or try to keep them on. It's like, no, they just kind of fall off the boat and end up just waking up. And there's no...
That is actually incredibly annoying. I really hate when you read something and you think it's going to be good, especially as, it's Jules Verne, he's very famous, of course, we've read some stuff before, and then it just turns out to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing.
I mean, again, there are other things that happen. They go to an island where there's, like, natives, and there's, like, oh, okay, so there's still some events. There's no plot.
Yeah.
The whole idea is, like, they want to escape, but they only ever try to escape once, and that's at the very end.
So
it's like, okay,
not a good book.
Not great. No. Still probably not. It didn't make me as angry as Great Wall of China this year by Kafka, which was 20 pages. At least for this, I could at least skip parts and come back later.
Fair.
For Kafka, I could have skipped everything. For this one, it's like, well, a quarter of the book was good.
So not making it into your top 3 books of the year list.
No.
Which
George Eliot was 10 times better.
Oh, wow. We can no longer be friends. We did release our top 3. I mean, I put it up the audio, I ripped the audio from the video and put it on the podcast feed, but we released the video version on Instagram and YouTube if you want to see us review our top 3 books each. Not really review, just list our top 3 books of the year. Mm-hmm. So there were some good ones, but this was not. This was not one of them.
No.
That is fair.
You would despise this book.
I already don't like things set under the sea.
Yes. I think you would say that this is the worst book you've read all year.
Wow. I mean, it sounds it, to be fair. From the basic premise of the book, and then from your review, it's like, oh yeah, I would hate this.
Yes.
Basically. Yeah.
So you have to read it next month.
I don't know if that's true.
I will not recommend this book to anybody else except to you.
Damn it. No, I'm not going to read this.
Actually, yeah, don't.